Hi guys! Do you like movies that are based on true stories? Those kinds of movies are usually very inspirational and touching. And this time, we're going to discuss 7 films which are based on true stories in Movie Insider's version. But first, don't forget to click subscribe and notification, okay guys? So you won't miss any other interesting video updates. The Conjuring. The Conjuring is a horror film released in 2013, produced by New Line Cinema and distributed by Warner Bros. This film is based on the true story of the Perron family who experienced a mystical event at their home in Harrisville, Rhode Island, US in 1971. The film tells the story of Caroline and Roger Perron, who recently moved to a new house, where they and their family were disturbed by ghostly spirits. After being investigated, it turns out that their house was a former house of magicians who sacrificed their children for worshipping Satan. The ritual of exorcism was carried out to drive away the spirits. The Conjuring is one of the most popular horror films, and it also received a high rating. The film was produced with a budget $20 million and earned a total income of $195 million. The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street is a film distributed by Paramount Pictures, which was released in 2013. This film tells the story of Jordan Belfort's past, who was a stockbroker played by Leonardo DiCaprio. It tells the beginnings of Jordan Belfort's life in pioneering a stock brokerage career, which began from a small company to an established large company named Stratton Augment. Jordan Belfort did a long of fraud and money laundering by using tricks that worked coupled with glamour, sex, and drugs, making this film even more interesting. This film was produced by a budget $100 million with revenues of $392 million. It is full of intrigue and conspiracy. You certainly don't want to miss this one. "12 Years a Slave." Maybe there are not many people know about this film. It is a 2013 film produced by Brad Pitt and distributed by Lionsgate. This movie tells about the period of slavery experienced by Solomon Northup for 12 years, 19th century. Solomon Northup himself was an American citizen of African descent who was kidnapped and sold as a slave on a plantation. The film depicts the story of Northup's journey of freeing himself to become a free man again. Your emotions will be spurred by watching this film, starting from being sad, emotional, furious, to angry. 12 Years a Slave has been named as the best film of 2013 by a number of media, including BBC, Entertainment Weekly, Rolling Stone, The New York Times, and The Washington Post. The film also received various awards and nominations, including winning the Golden Globe Awards, nomination for Best Drama Picture, and the Academy Awards for Best Picture, Best Supporting Actress, and Best Adapted Screenplay, and BAFTA Awards for Best Film. The Imitation Game. The Imitation Game is a film that is based on a book titled Alan Turing, The Enigma, starring Benedict Cumberbatch. This film tells the life story of an English cryptographer named Alan Turing. Alan Turing is a mathematician who's in charge for breaking the secret code of machines made in Germany called Enigma. Not only code breaking, this film also tells the past romance, and personal life of the real Alan Turing. Some of the final scenes about the real Alan Turing's true identity and personality will shock you. In the true story according to experts, Alan's services to break the Enigma codes, shortening the war for more than 2 years and saving more than 14 million lives. And this had become the government's secret for more than 50 years. This film is produced with a budget of only $14 million and earns a total income of $234 million. The Pianist. The Pianist is a film that is based on a book of the same name, which is adapted from the true story of its author, Władysław Szpilman. Władysław was a Jewish piano player and composer from Poland. The film tells the journey of his life starting in 1939 at the beginning of World War II, when Germany began to attack Poland. Władysław must execute and then was separated from his family. It illustrates the story of Władysław surviving as a civilian in the midst of war. Władysław had almost made his death while hiding from gunfire and bomb blast. He himself was saved several times because many soldiers learned that he was a pianist. This film is applauded and gets a high rating from film fans. The Pianist received a total income $120 million from the production costs of $35 million. Schindler's List. Talking about cool films, the work of Steven Spielberg certainly cannot be missed. One of his successful works that is based on true story is Schindler's List. Schindler's List tells the story of a German businessman named Oskar Schindler who saved more than 1,000 Polish Jews from the cruelty of Nazi forces in the Holocaust. This film clearly illustrates German soldiers' crimes and atrocities against Jews. This film is produced only in black and white to represent the past. This film was released by Universal Studios in 1993 with a budget of $22 million with a total income of $321 million. Titanic. Speaking of film based on true stories, Titanic can't seem to be left behind. Titanic won 11 Academy Awards and got 14 Academy Awards nominations. The film, released in 1997 and starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, tells the true story of survivors from the sinking of the giant Titanic ship in 1912. Rose DeWitt Bucketer is a survivor who tells a love story with her lover Jack, who she just met in Titanic. Until a tragic incident happened to the ship that caused the sinking of the ship. Not only films, even the soundtrack of the film My Heart Will Go On, which was performed by Celine Dion, was ranked #1 on the charts in all countries. Titanic became one of the films that had the biggest revenue in history with a total of $2.2 billion with the production costs of $200 million. And that was the 7 best film based on true stories in Movie Insider's version. What do you think, guys? Have you watched it all? Or do you have different opinions? Please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching and see you in other videos.